at it. So now that we successfully tested this with the plug in it, and we have some data from that test, now we're going to move on and we're going to remove the plug from the rear ASA from the IntruBuster Gen 2. Put that aside for safekeeping, and I am going to install my slide check on and off ASA. Into the IntruBuster. Going to install that. Heavily lubricated this thing because these things under pressure are not the easiest to use, but it's what I have right now without making it ridiculously long. Alright, so it's all lubricated up pretty good now, so looks good there. Let me knock down some of this lubrication. Alright, and we're going to be starting off, we're not going to do 1100 psi or 1000 today. I don't even know if I'm going to even do 1100, but at some point we'll probably do 1000. But we're just going to test on a softer supply that I have here, an 800 tank that is outputting in about 750. So we'll see what we get from that. Matter of fact, let me throw a gauge on this really quick. Let me throw a gauge on it. See if we can just put that right there. Place stuff don't go falling around everywhere. Let's see what this tank is reading today, since it kind of fluctuates a little bit. So let's see what we have. Now this tank's got about, it was pumped up to 3,000 to capacity, but the gauge is not that most accurate, so it's reading just a little bit low, somewhere north of 2,500. But according to the compressor, it shut off at 3,000, so I'm going to take a reading and see what the output is on this today. All right, looks like 750. Okay. All right. 750 it is. $750. All right, so that's a good safe PSI. I mean, that's right about or a little bit less than your average, warm CO2 is going to give you anyway. So that should be good. What I do with the wrench. Let me make sure that this is tight. Yep, it's good and tight. Got fuzzies everywhere. All right, so what we're gonna do, there's no magazine in it. There's no cartridge CO2 in here. By the way, on that last test, when we tested just this with the plug in it, I forgot to show you the puncture on it. It was another good puncture. It's just, I think it's as good as I'm gonna get out of these. I keep thinking they're gonna be a big tear like what you see on that Umarex 2x12 gram cylinder, where when it goes through it, it tears it really nice. But it was a decent puncture. I'm thinking that's the best I'm getting out of it, but you really do have to hit the thing hard, which is fine if that's what as long as you're prepared to do that. If you don't hit it hard enough, it's kind of slow acting. All right, I think we're good there. Let's get the alien stock. Alien stock. Also, I got from AR Tactical this alien stock. It was a good deal on that. Unfortunately, I broke it by over tightening the darn thing on a tank that really was kind of big to slip over. But it still fits perfectly even without this, with the nut and bolt on it. It's a nice design. All right, so this is, before I air it up, this is what we're looking at with that power mod on. Of course, I could take that off and just run the ASA adapter with the on and off if I wanted to shorten it up more. But we're gonna run it and see what we get. I mean, it's not too bad. Had a forward grip on here, longer barrel, might be in business. But yeah, we'll see. Can't really get the sight picture for the dot, or maybe I can. Kind of, if I was going to keep it in this setup all the time, I'd probably want to rise. I'd probably want to get that scope a little higher. But then again, I probably would use my V-Life dot optic anyways, because it's bigger. It's better when you get it. You know, it already has a built-in riser. But we're going to be using the laser anyway, so we're fine. We'll be good with that. All right, so yeah, nothing's leaking. Like I said, we got about a little north of 2,500 on the tank gauge anyways. It is a full tank according to the compressor. So let's go ahead and there's no ammunition in it. And I would always advise that unless you're in a self-defense situation, a home defense, where it's loaded and you need to puncture your CO2 or turn your air on while it's loaded, I would say if you're just plinking and practicing around like we're doing here today, don't take the risk, you know, to do that. Because if something acts up, I got a video on it a couple videos ago. Thankfully, I had no ammo in it. You know, it could have been things could have gotten really exciting. So we're going to air this up. And again, there's no ammo in it, but I'm going to air it up down range anyways. And this is 750 PSI. All right, we had a good crisp sound out of it. You could hear the bolt engage. Again, not hearing any leaks whatsoever in the gun. That did take some volume. It dropped the pressure to about 20, maybe 22, 23 PSI left in the tank. So, all right, I'll put my other ear plug in, and then we're gonna do a magazine of the 8 gram Joules, and we'll see what we get for feet per second in Joules and energy. Turn the laser on. We got our Joules. We got our X radar. All right. All right, mag 1, shot 1. Let's see what we do on 750 HPA. 750 PSI HPA. Shot 1. (344 feet per second). Shot 2. 340 feet per second. Shot 3. 344 feet per second. Shot 4. 338 feet per second. Shot 5. 342 feet per second. And the last shot, shot 6. And these are the 8 grams. 342 feet per second. Awesome consistency. But we kind of expected that anyways from HPA. So there's always that. Yeah. See if we got anything trapped in here. No, so that's slide checks degassing just fine. No gas in the empty CO2 chamber, so. That looks good. That looks good for sure. We still have about 2,000 PSI left in the tank. And again, this gauge ain't 100% accurate. Obviously not on these. All right, so we still have air pressure. That was 6 rounds of the 8-gram AR Tactical Joules. The 685 was the size of that ammunition. So I do have another magazine of the S type shaped ammunition, the 6 gram. So we got air, so why not? Let's see what they do with 750 HPA. All right, so again, we're going to air up before we load. All right, we're aired up. I got stuff blown all over my glasses. We have 6 of the S type in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll see what we get under 750 PSI for the shaped 6-gram S type. All right. Shot 1. Oop, let's put the laser on so we know where we're aiming. Shot 1. 394 feet per second. Shot 2. 400 feet per second. Shot 3. 404 feet per second. Shot 4. 392 feet per second. Shot 5. Woo! That bounced back at me. 404 feet per second. And the last shot of the S-type shaped ammo, shot 6. 400 feet per second. Hey, these things are impressive. They're running right through the gun. I mean, that's 2 mags now, 12 rounds that I've used on these S-type. No problems. They feed in fine. 6 gram anyways. I got the 8 gram on order. We'll see how those feed. I imagine they're going to be a little bit bigger. But they're still advertised as 684, 685. So maybe they're just heavier. I don't know. But I know a lot of guys have had bad experiences with the shaped ammo jamming. But so far so good. I gotta say I haven't had any jams. Not a single jam. You know, I mean, I know, you know, maybe it's too soon to really tell, right? But I would think if you're gonna have a problem with these, you'd probably have them in the first few rounds you shoot. But yeah, no problem there. So anyways, that's today's testing. Thank you for watching me test the IntruBuster Generation 2 on high pressure air, 750 PSI high pressure air. Thank you for watching. Peace out.